Today I've got some pennies from the reign of King Edward VII. Edward became King of the United Kingdom, the British Dominions and Emperor of India on the 22nd of January 1901 when his mother, Queen Victoria, died. But no Edward VII coins were minted for circulation until 1902. They're in what I like to call circulated condition. If you've got some of these pennies in a piggy bank, in a money box, in a drawer, in a bottle, these are the conditions they're likely to be in. But in this condition, are any of them worth anything? Well, yes. So let's go through them and have a look. Now let's start with the 1902. As I said, they're in circulated condition. The British grading definitions are a bit matter of opinion really, but VG, would you call this? Very good. Probably not quite fine condition, but VG. Now certainly not poor condition. Probably something between very good and fine. What do you think? Anyway, 1902, very common, nearly 27 million minted, so only worth about 35p in this condition. I'm basing these prices as if you wanted to buy a single item from eBay. And don't forget, you're going to have postage costs on top of that. Put that down there. There we go. I've got another 1902 here. And I would say it's around about the same condition as the first one. But this one is known as the low tide variety. So let me grab the other one back and compare them. Okay, there they are. Now the first one we found, this one, the tide level is where the legs of Britannia cross. It's level with that. And you can see the low tide version, much less sea there. And the tide level is right down here. So that is the low tide variety. Around about 2.4 million of these are thought to exist. No one knows exactly. But around about £3 in that condition. And I think the prices of those will only go up as more and more people are collecting them. And let's put that one down there next to the other one. A little bit of info above it. Now, 1903. Not too bad condition, this one. First thing we have to do is look at the number 3. And this one is called the closed 3. So let's freeze that image so you can see it better. There we go. See, it curls around at the top and it curls around underneath at the bottom as well. So that one, even in that condition, probably only about 50p. Pretty common, over 21 million were made. Okay, I've got another 1903. Well, let's have a look at the number 3. And you can see this time the 3 is flat at the top and it doesn't curl under as much at the bottom as well. And this is known as the open 3. So let me compare them. There you go, you can see the difference. The top coin flat at the top on the 3 and doesn't curl as much underneath either. And that's known as the open 3. So the one on the left, the common one, worth about 50p. And the one on the right, the open 3, in this condition, worth about £50. So 100 times more. There's estimated to be around 25,000 of those in existence. But again, no one really knows. Let's get those down there. There's the common one. Put that over there. And there's a rarer one there. And the rarer open 3. We'll put that down there. Get back text. Thank you. There's a 1904. There's no variants that I know of. Under 13 million of this one were made, so a little bit harder to find. I'd say about £1 for that. Probably that's a little bit of an overestimate though. Well, let's get that one down there. 12.9 million of that one. Now we come to the 1905. There are a couple of varieties of the 1905 to look for, but they are both easy to find. There are 2 reverses on the 1905, and Freeman's catalogue calls them reverse B and reverse C. Reverse B is this one on top, and reverse C is the one underneath. Now let me freeze that image. If you look at reverse C, the one underneath, you can see the letter E has been turned slightly clockwise. It's not quite level. And the one on the top is straighter, seems more level. Now if I draw a line from the reverse B along the top of the E, you see it just goes just above the P. But if I do the same on the bottom one, which is reverse C, it goes way over the top of the P. Very subtle, but if you look at that, you can clearly see how it's been moved round slightly clockwise. And that is the best way of finding out whether you've got a reverse B or reverse C. You don't really need my lines to see that. They're both quite easy to find, so I'll just put one down there and I'll say around about 80 pence in that condition. The 1906, no known varieties of that one really, just a standard one. And nearly 38 million minted, so only about 50 pence. Obviously if you buy a load of these pennies in bulk, you're going to get them cheaper, but you never know what you're going to get. Let's get that one down there, 37.9 million. Same with the 1907, no varieties that I know of. Quite a common coin, nearly 48 million. Well, 47.2 million, so again 40 pence for that one. The 1908 does have a few different varieties, but they're all very easy to find and very common. So I'm not going to go into it on this video. I might make a separate video about the 1908 penny. Well, let's put that one down there. 31.5 million, about 40 pence for that one. Now you might say, how come for the 1906 where there's 37 million, you said 50p, and the 1908, just over 31 million, you said 40p. So what I do, I take the average selling price of a single coin on the day I make the video. That's all I can do really. So it's going to change all the time. Now, 1909, there are a couple of things to look out for in the 1909 penny. This one is just a common one, over 19 million of these minted, so only around 50 pence for this one. So let's put that one down there. I've got another 1909 penny here, and this one is a little bit more valuable, around £55 for this one, 55 to 60 pounds. So what's the difference? Well, let's have a look at the N in the word one, and you can see just there to the right of the N at the top there's a little raised dot. There's a bit closer if I can freeze that image. Approximately 100,000 pennies I'll probably search through now, and I've only found one of these. Yeah, around 55, 60 pounds. If I was to sell that on eBay, include some decent pictures, I reckon I would expect to get around 55 to 60 pounds. Now I've got an image of one here, almost in uncirculated condition. You can see the dot really clearly there. And this one sold a few years ago at London coin auctions for £450. So if you've got a nice condition 1909, check it's got a little dot next to the N. And let's get that one down there as well. 1909 dot penny. Most 1909 pennies have a reverse D. This is a reverse D. Let me show you how you can spot a reverse D. If I freeze that and then we draw a line through the 1 in the date, you can see it goes between the teeth, between the beads. That's the common reverse D. Now let's have a look at an image of a reverse E, the rare one. And you can see there, if you draw a line straight through the 1 in the date, it lines up perfectly with one of the teeth, or one of the beads around the edge. A few years ago, it was estimated between 7,000 and 12,000 of these existed, but more recently it was decided that they were rarer than that because they just hardly ever turn up. And this actual 1909 reverse E penny sold at London coin auctions in June 2018 for £1,100. I don't own a 1909 with a reverse E, but I'll keep hunting, and you never know, one day one might turn up. Now, to familiarise yourself, I can never say that word, to familiarise yourself with the reverse E, look at the 1910s, because all 1910s have reverse E. You see the 1 lines up with the bead of the tooth. It's not very clear on that one. What about this one? Yeah, a little bit better. You see, it's exactly in line with the 1, the tooth and the 1 together. And that one, really clearly, reverse E. But, and it is a big but, most of the 1909s that you'll find out there, look at that, you can't see the teeth at all. They're completely worn away. So you won't be able to tell. The waves on the C there are slightly finer cut on a reverse E than the reverse D, but unless you've got a decent coin, it's virtually impossible to tell. And if you've got a good quality coin, well, it's easy to tell by the teeth anyway, so difficult that one. And that just leaves us with the 1910 from the reign of Edward VII. Edward died on the 6th of May 1910 in Buckingham Palace in London, and his son George V became king. 29.5 million 1910s were made. Let me just fade that in there, and only going to be worth around 40 pence. Well, there we are. There's a few Edward VII pennies to look out for. If you've got any of these in your collection and you didn't know it, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It'll be really appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video.